Hi, Alia.
Yeah, mom.
Did you do any art this week, Alia?
Actually, my exams are going on, so I had to.
Okay, no problem. How long are your exams?
They're going to be next week, and that's it.
Okay, so then that's it. End of March, your exams are finishing.
Yeah, and then holidays, so I can do as much art as wanted.
Wonderful. Do you have any plans? What projects you're going to do over the holidays?
Right now, not really, but I'm going to start when we reach
Okay. Holidays, maybe you know what you should do? Uh, I think I should do almost a daily class with you all. That way we can do something for an extended period. Let me see if I can do that. You should get some of your friends together and you should do some big projects, like illustrate a book or something like that. So then over a
That would
month,
be fun.
yeah, let's try something like that. Let me see. But we need to have lots of people coming. So you should get your friends also to join up. Okay, so somebody else is missing. Let me just check with
Teacher.
Shivani. Okay. So today we were going to do faces, right, in pencil. So I'm going to show you how to create um, like a grid with a grid of a face, how you can start drawing features. And I'm going to show you some basic, just basic shapes of our facial features, which then we can change up a little bit and start making your own portraits. So faces are considered to be very difficult. Have you tried making portraits before? Yes, Veer. Ah,
Ma'am, before joining the class, I like all of a sudden had this obsession with trying to draw humans.
uh-huh.
And then I looked up and I kept looking through the internet, kept looking, and I kept trying. It kind of worked, not really, but
Okay. Where do you think you had a problem?
most of the time it was just my faces kept looking the same, and the hair, 100% the hair.
Okay. Do you have any of those pictures?
No, not really. Most of them I just kind of threw away.
Okay, I can understand. Next time if they make a, if you don't like something, also keep them in a not like too much file, because it's if they're all looking the same, you're probably looking at the faces the same way, and it's probably one tiny change that you can make, and then everything will start looking better. So next time if you find something, or even if you've not thrown all of them, just share them with us. It should be good. Okay, so here we go. Now again, today don't use an eraser. Okay, we are going to make it very sketchy. So let's start off with a small face. It's not going to be too large. It's just about this small. And we'll start off with an oval, or maybe you can even start off with a circle and then extend that circle slightly to the bottom, maybe a quarter as much towards the bottom, and make an oval shape out of it. Okay, starting with a circle is a good idea because you know a circle is always going to be exactly the same, whether it's a big circle or small circle. But an oval can be all sorts. You can have a very narrow oval like that. You can have a very wide oval. So whenever you are trying to specify an oval, it's good to make a circle and then visualize half and a quarter and then say, okay, I want a quarter more to the bottom and then make that oval shape. Now, you've got your oval shape. Now divide that vertically into half. So you have a left and right hemisphere. And now this entire line oval, you divide it into half again. So you have a top and a bottom hemisphere. All right. Now, both in the top and bottom, you mark a small line at half up and half bottom, somewhere here. And in the bottom half and the bottom 1/4, you will draw one more line. Okay, can you already see a face in this? Right? So this is the phenomenon in which we see a face, even in something that no features are there, but still we see the face. This thing is called pareidolia. This is the ability to see faces in inanimate objects. Right. Now, I'll explain about this later also. Now, on this line, what feature do you think we are going to draw? We have to draw eyes, nose, mouth. Yes, Alia.
So mom, according to how I have like researched about it, the spelling of pareidolia is Pareidolia.
P-A-R-A.
Dei Pareidolia.
P-A-R-E-I. Parei. Yes, pareidolia. Is this an I or E? This one also.
Mom, that's an I only.
Okay, good. Okay, now tell me, where do you think we will have the eyes, nose, and mouth? It's very simple. Yes, Ruth.
The eyes will be at the half mark. The
Correct.
nose will be in the half of that space down below, and
Yeah.
the mouth will be in the last mark we made.
Very good. All right. Now for the eyes, we are going to make an oval, curved shape like an almond. And then the same width away on the other side, we are going to make another almond shape. Now make it very lightly so that if you need to adjust it and bring it closer or take it further, you can do that. All right. Now, the space between the eyes, you can pull that down, this line down. And a little short of that, we make the nose like this. And a little beyond that, we make the mouth, which will be two curved lines, one line going above, one line coming below. Now with these facial features, or the distribution of these facial features, we can't have the chin over here. It'll almost look as if there's no chin at all, right? So you take about this distance from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the mouth and extend the same over here, at least that much. And from here, we can draw a shape going to the side of the eyes. But over here also, the distance from the corner of the eye, the outer corner of the eye, to the edge of the face must be equal to or less than this distance, which is this from the center line to the inner corner. So this should be more than this. So you can mark a vertical line from the sides in such a way that this distance is less than this distance, not the two together, just this. All right. And then bring it down right up to the edge of the nose. And then you can curve the face in. So now this is not like rocket science. If you look at your own face in the mirror also, you will see these things. That where does your chin or where do your cheekbones come? They come over here. Where does your jawbone come? Right under the cheekbones, a little inside. This is along which line is where your skin is stretched and comes down to the chin. Correct? So whenever you have any doubt about this, go and stand in front of the mirror and just figure out what are these points, what are these distances, and you will be able to figure this out yourself as well. So I don't want you to memorize any of this. Now, this line over here is supposed to be the hairline. And from here to anywhere above is where you can do the hairline so that the face looks a little normal. Now, when we want to draw a person who is younger, all the features are closer to each other. And when the person is slightly older, all the features move a little far away from each other, except the nose and mouth so much. But the nose becomes a little longer. The ears definitely become longer. The ears are over here, just by the side of the eyes, coming towards the, about till where the nose is. And for the hair, first let's draw the neck. So the center of the eye over here, drop a line going straight down. This gives us a guideline. And from the sides of the face, you can draw a nice, elegant neck that tapers downward. And on this, we can have the hair just falling somewhat like that. Okay. Now above the eyes, we also have to make an eyebrow. So the eyebrow is made about the same distance higher as the height of the eye that we put. Now eyebrows are slightly straight on top of the eye and then they curve towards the side. You know why this is? Why we have eyebrows in the first place? I have spoken about this last year. Do you remember? Why do you think we have eyebrows? What function do they serve?
Uh,
Just use your logic, whatever logic you feel. Why do you think we have eyebrows? Eyes we see, nose is very important to breathe and
Ma'am,
smell. Yes, go ahead.
are there muscles used to help close the eye?
Okay, that's a good guess. Suppose we didn't have any hair on the eyebrows, would we still be able to close the eyes?
They could be used to shield from dust.
That's also a good point. Okay. But dust over here is a little difficult. So it's not lashes. So we're not talking about lashes. We're talking about eyebrows. What do you think?
I think it was the sweat or something it said. So
What
that
do you... Yeah, yes,
it
Ruth.
goes sideways.
I heard my mother saying that you use it because for soaking the sweat.
Okay, so you heard her to saying that. Okay, what do you think? How does it work? Why does it soak in this? I mean, it can't soak it. The sweat can't go back in the skin, right?
Because it's circular. I think it slips from here.
But why do you think that is the case? Yes.
It directs the sweat away from your eyes.
Okay, that's very good. Okay,
Otherwise, the sweat will come in our eyes.
Because that's why it's shaped like that.
that's very good.
The
Okay.
sweat comes here and then moves downward onto the side of the face.
So if we did not have hair and then the sweat goes into our eye, what do you think would happen? It's just sweat, no? Why would it be so important?
Yeah, but isn't sweat doesn't sweat have some kind of salt level?
It does, but would it be fatal that we don't, it's our own body sweat, no? But that's a good point. Maybe it has some toxins or something and you don't want that to go in the eye. That might be the case.
Unwanted stuff in it.
Unwanted stuff. That is also a good guess. Very nice. Interesting points. So this is what I've heard. And by that, it doesn't stop you from investigating even more, huh? If you want to know more and what theories might be, because these are all just theories proposed by scientists. So what I read somewhere is that because human beings are the only animals which sweat as much as we do. There are other animals that sweat, but the kind of sweating for cooling the body, I think humans are unique in that function. So we have a lot of endurance. Do you know what endurance means? That means you can run long distances for a long period of time, like a marathon or an ultra marathon. There are people who run for 100 kilometers. That means they're running the whole day. So for 12 hours, 18 hours, sometimes 30 hours also. So this ability comes to us from the constant cooling. How does the body cool itself? Yeah,
Through sweat, through
sweat, correct.
exerting.
So it's constantly sweating and then that cools the body. So it's not just removal of toxins, but also to keep us cool. Now imagine prehistoric man or the unevolved human, pre-sapiens, a kind of world where they lived in where humans are probably one of the weakest organism. We don't have sharp nails, we don't have sharp teeth. We only have the ability to run long distances. So we are basically good at running away from our predators because we sweat. Now you're running away from a saber tooth, let's say, okay? And you're running. Obviously, nobody's paved the roads or anything. And you're sweating, and then that sweat comes in your eye. And just as you're about to escape from the saber tooth, you temporarily blinded, and then you fall, and the saber tooth catches you, and that's the end of your line. So it's a very simple thing. I'm sure there's other reasons as well, but there's some somehow the important organs in the body have to remain protected. And those organisms that evolved to protect these important organs survived. That's how those organs proved to be important. So the eyes are a very important organ for our survival. Without the eyes, we tend to be a little debilitated. So there is two things. One is about the sweat also, but also, do you notice that this is one of the few organs which is inside the body? It's not protruding outward. Like the mouth protrudes outward, the teeth grow outward, but they're protected by the mouth. The nose grows outward, the ears grow outward, right? But the eyes, you only have a slit on the outside, but the organ is on the inside. And try this one thing also. Just close your eye and hold your pencil against your cheekbone and your brow bone. And you'll notice that that it seems to be protected in such a way that if you were to fall or something were to impact your eye, it's not going to puncture the eye. Yeah, it is protected. So if a big fat object comes and hits you on the eye, you'll get hurt here and here, but from anywhere the eye is not. And then of course you have this nose. So nose will get hurt, but the eye is protected, right? All this is dispensable. You don't have a nose, no problem. You don't have eyebrows, no problem. Yes.
Ma'am, but the reason that the eyes are sunken in is to like protect from like when you fall down, even if you fall down like this way over here,
Mm-hmm.
the eyes are sunken in so that it doesn't like affect your main eyes.
Exactly.
And also sweat itself does not cool. When it dries, that cooling sensation helps.
Absolutely, yes. But you have to still sweat though. I mean, the drying is what helps the cooling, but we're not constantly carrying water around us. So the sweat is our own way of a spray. Very good. All right. So now that you know this, you need to know that there's a reason why the eyebrows are slightly fatter and flatter towards the center and run down sideways. So you will never make pointy eyebrows like that or round eyebrows like that. Okay, that's the reason why it's important to have this information and make your, even when making your illustrations. Oh,
Ma'am, my current face isn't looking too good. Can I try recreating it?
no, we'll make it again. So I'm going to ask you to make the face again after a while, but we need to fill in some more details. All right. The first face often looks really weird.
Mine looks like a psychopathic serial killer.
So does mine. Let's put eyes into the face. Let's see. So now we've got this shape for the eyes. Let's put a fold of skin on top of it. And inside the almond shape, let's make two small perfect circles. These need to be absolutely perfect circles of the same size. Right in the middle of that circle, another perfect circle. And then on the right side or the left side, top of the circle, you will make a small highlight that you will not shade, but you will shade the rest of the eye dark to light from top to bottom like that. Dark to light from top to bottom. Now your face will look a little less psycho, right?
It looks even worse.
Oh gosh, okay. Well, now you know how to draw a psycho then. Well, anyway, so now this is the face. The other details that we'll make are, again, now for the nose, you will make, this is the shape that we made for the nose. Just make a gentle line to the sides. That's enough. We do not want to make shapes like these or like this. These are all really ugly noses. We don't want this. Unless you want an ugly face, then you have to make this like an ogre or a gargoyle. And for the lips, you can make a nice shape of the mouth like this, where it is slightly flat on the top and slightly fatter and flatter at the bottom. A little highlight for the lower lip, and that should be it. All right, now do you want to try drawing this face one more time by yourselves? Okay, good. So use the same guidelines, but remember the guidelines are meant to just give you an idea. So if you feel your nose is too long, you can shorten it, or if it's too short, make it longer, up to you.
Miss.
Yes. Let's see. This is the second one you made?
Yeah,
Ah,
I made the
nice.
first on a rough page.
Oh, why did you make it on the rough page? You should make it on the same page. All this is rough. It should stay together. Show the rough work as well.
Mom, when I find it, can I show you?
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Did you all manage? Okay.
Ma'am, mine
Yes.
still isn't looking too good.
Now show me. Okay. Ruth, very nice. How do you like it, Ruth?
I like it a little bit. It's looking like a cartoon.
It is looking like a cartoon, yes. But why have you made those lines on the side of the nose? I didn't ask you to make those.
Okay, I'll erase them.
No erasing. Right there, right over here, something like no lines next to nose. Now, I'm going to ask you to make this again. So, whenever you feel that you've done something and you have been corrected, don't erase. Make the next one without those lines because you need to see both. See, I may tell you one thing, but suppose there is an occasion where you need the effect that is created by those lines next to the nose. It's not wrong. It's just something that is might be more appropriate at another for another occasion. But once you erase it, you forget it. Then you don't, if it's not in front of your eyes, then you'll always still be making that same face without the lines next to the nose. You get what I mean? So, say for example, you want to make a very funny face which has a big nose, for example, those lines will look wonderful, right? So keep it and then make another one without the lines. That's all. All right. So what we'll do now is I'm going to show you how to make the details of these also. So when you're making the eye, can I show you now the separate body parts?
Ma'am,
Yes.
mine is not looking good.
So I don't know why you're making that nose like that. How did we make the nose? We don't need a circle. Have you seen, can you see this nose that I've made? It does not have a circle, right? So try and make another face exactly like that. Do not make that nose and don't erase that. So what you're trying to do is a nose like this. And I can understand that is how noses are taught, but only when you're going to shade them. Otherwise, they look like it's a hole. It looks like the front of a scooter with the headlight. When you shade them, so I want to show you that this is not wrong. And maybe in that, I can also show Ruth how she's not wrong also. So since I'm going to show you the rest of the facial features, I'm with the nose, here are two ways to do it. The one that you will do is going to just be a line like that, and it comes up a little to the side, just a little bit, not too long. It's very critical. All these little things matter a lot. So when you're just making a line drawing, only so much of the nose is enough. You don't need more than that. Now, I'm going to make you another nose, which I just want you to see. You don't have to draw it. Even if you do, it's fine. So what you were drawing was this central nose. There's a certain logic to this. And only in a few faces, when the face is looking straight at you, or a little looking up a little bit, that is when you see the nostrils. And this shape helps us create a certain, it's almost like drawing a little bit tiny apple or a berry. And our shading comes along this side. It does not touch the edge of the nose where the nostril is hiding. It goes along this circle. That's why having that circle helps. But if you're not going to shade it, then that circle just stands out as a sore thumb or a sore nose, whichever you like. So all this has to be covered up so that the circle is not visible.
So if I'm drawing like a face like this and I'm not shading the rest of the face, I cannot draw this, right?
Well, it's not going to serve any purpose. You can still draw it, but it's not going to serve any purpose. And likewise, what Ruth was doing is also not going to serve any purpose unless you are going to do the shading. So I don't want you to reject that. Okay, keep it. There is value in drawing that, but no, maybe not for today's sketches. Today we are just learning how to make the different proportions. Can you see how, Ruth, even the shading on the side, it makes sense when we are going to shade the rest of the face as well. All right, so reserve this for that exploration. For now, we'll just do so much. Okay. Now, the other thing that, as far as shading is concerned, we can shade a little bit underneath the nose to show that this is stretching outward, but just a little bit. Now here there's a shadow, and you can also make a little shadow over here and a little shadow on the side of the nostril. So the nose on the left is like a small brief version of the more detailed nose on the right. Okay. Now let's draw the mouth. Since we've drawn the nose, we'll draw the mouth over here instead of the eye. When we're drawing the mouth, here's a simple rule. You start off with the center line. And now since it's right below this nose, I'm going to try and visualize where the upper lip is going to come. And it's going to be really fat lips. Oh, damn. Okay, let's see how it looks. So the expression of the face comes from the mouth as much as the eyes. Just above the center, you will draw a very shallow curve, and just below the center, you can draw the same shallow curve but slightly bigger. And then round on top and then come to the side. So here it's on the upper lip, it's a more complicated shape. The bottom is basically just a round lip that extends from the corners like that. So very, very, very big mouth. Now, when you're shading this, always look at leaving a highlight along the bottom lip. Sometimes you also see it on the top lip, but not as much. You can shade both the lips separately, just with a very medium pencil shade. Don't make it too dark. And make the edges slightly deeper in color. Okay, are you getting it? Remember to make the shading very gentle. Don't make it too dark in the beginning. You should always leave some room to make certain parts a little darker. Now remember, does anyone know what this part is called? The space between the nose and the upper lip. There is some name to that body part. A lot of times people will draw a line over here. Again, that's the same thing that happens for a face with more detailing. So if you draw that line, it has to be only in the detailed faces. Let's try. I'm going to make this a mouth over here as well. So this mouth is going to be, let's see if I have some reference image. Here I'm changing the shape of the lips a little bit. I'm giving them a little bit of a curve. Same, slightly flat on top. Now, unless we have all the other features made in detail, making this flap of skin becomes a bother. So don't do that. We don't want to make this, and also what we don't want is the lines that come from the sides of the nose. We don't want any of that in this picture. Now, shall we make the eye? Do you have any questions so far? All right. So when we're making the eye, start with this. I'm going to make slightly bigger than I've made the nose and the mouth. Start with a very light horizontal line. Leave enough room on the top and the bottom, huh? Because we have to make eyebrows as well. So I start off with a line, and then I'm going to make a line which is not entirely round, but it is like this, going up, and a little shallow shape coming down. So if I'd made it round, it would be too almond shaped. That is also fine, but a little flat on top usually works better. Now, this is how we're going to shape the eye. On one side, towards the left, we are going to make the tear duct. So I've pulled the line inward a little bit and made the tear duct. And then I'm going to take the line outward and even flatter and take it to the other side, but not join it to the line from the top. I'm not going to join it. I'm just going to leave a gap over there. Then the next thing we're going to draw is from a little away from the tear duct. I'm going to draw a membrane. This is the thickness of the skin around the eye. This is what our eye is basically just a slit in the skin. Oh, 1 minute, what is that? Ruth, are you showing me an eye? I can see an eye staring at me. That's very scary. After we finish this eye, everybody can just put your eyes on the screen and we'll take a picture. Okay. So once we've done this, are you drawing with me, Ruth? Yeah, okay. Once we've done this, at some distance, now we don't know what that some distance is, right? So say, let's say if this is the eye, about half or less than half of this distance, less than half of the distance of the eye, you will make a line parallel to the center part, but bring it closer to the inside, slightly closer, and closer to the outer edge. And then the same distance as the eye above, we will make the eyebrow. So as we have discussed, draw a line first, horizontal, and then along the side of the eye. And here now we can give ourselves a shape for the eyebrow. So we can take it higher up and outward. So it goes a little high. If you keep it too flat, then it looks like the face is crying. So it goes a little low on the inside and then higher up. So far we're good? All okay? Alia, are you there?
Yes, mom.
Okay, good. Now, in this part, we will make a circle. And part of the circle is not going to be seen to us because it is going to be inside the eye on the top. Right in the center, start with a small circle and grow it, but grow it such that it looks like it is in the exact center of this iris. It should not be a little to the side or it should not be oval. See, now mine is looking like it's slightly higher than it should be. So I'm just increasing it towards the bottom. Now it's okay. Now for the detailing over here, and I love doing this detailing, you can make a slightly tilted shape like a square or rectangle, or maybe an oval, or maybe two ovals along the top of the iris, and leave that blank while you shade everything else. And while you're shading, also remember that it needs to be slightly darker on top. And as you come lower, you can start making it even lighter. Now, can you guess why we are shading it like this? Yeah, Veer, you were showing me something? Sorry, I didn't see that. 1 second, I'm going to pin your picture. Okay. So now here, what you've done is the outside edge and the inside edge. They're looking pretty much the same. Isn't that right? Okay, and the eyebrow, you can shift it about the same size as the eye. So this is the size, take the same size up, and the bottom of the eyebrow is where you draw the line. You've got the rest of it good. And I want you to also try drawing your lines much lighter. This first horizontal line that we drew must be much lighter. You're getting it. Very good. It's not looking that psycho. So the points are, take the eyebrow slightly higher. And can you see this part? Wait, I'll unpin. This part over here, this is the inner eye and this is the outer eye. Can you tell the difference between the two? The inner eye has got a shape like this. It's where we have tear ducts. The outer part of the eye is where the two lids come from the side and they don't join. This is where the membrane comes in. So they look very different. Yes. Alia, a little to your right. A little to your right. Your right. Your right. Okay. Okay, good. You all are getting there. So now, Alia, your eyebrow is looking very round. Can you see that? It needs to be slightly flatter on the front. Let's draw it again. Draw it one more time. Look at the shapes that I'm making. After all, everything is about just getting the right shape and the right place, the right size. That's it. You know? Okay, very nice, Ruth. Looking good. Now, the best bit is that you can play around with all of these things if you want to make like cartoon faces or something like that. So the eyes that you've drawn, where the lines may not be like mine, are not wrong, but try to see what those eyes look like. Like I was telling Veer, if his face looks like a psychopath, then when he has to make a cartoon of a psychopath, he knows exactly how to draw the face, right? Get me? So, if you want to draw a normal person, what changes should we make to that drawing? You can look at it that way as well. Let's see. All right. Now, when you're making the eyebrows, oh, that's cute. Ruth has made a cartoon already. Now, when you're drawing the eyebrows, and I've not drawn those, I don't know why you all have all drawn them in. Remember that they start off straight, again to collect the sweat, and then they slightly start turning to the side. It's almost like a steering wheel when you turn to the side. So they're training the liquid collected to go to the side, and then you'll notice that the hairs on the side of your eyebrow actually point downward. So from pointing upward as they come out of your skin on the center, they're pointing downward as they come out from the sides. Have you noticed that? Isn't it incredible how our eyebrows are structured? Then for the eyelashes, you make don't make very, very big lashes because that looks like somebody's put makeup. Just make a few lines emerging. From the center, it looks like it's coming out straight and they're not very long. And from the inside, they're shorter and they curve towards the inside of the face. The lashes that come from the sides to the outside curl towards the outside of the face. So here you will never see lashes curling towards the inside of the circle. They will always be outside. And then from the bottom, you just make a few lines like that, and that should be enough. Okay? Do you all want to try making this one more time by yourself? Try making the other eye now. Aha, very nice, Veer. I think it's looking slightly better, but your eyelashes are very shaggy. They're looking like they've not been tweezed. Interesting. How about convert that? So since this is what you have made and you've done this, something like that, right? So the line has gone back and forth. Now with faces, it's very important. All these little things are very important. So if I were to make the face of a very grumpy man, I don't know why grumpy man, but very bushy eyebrows sometimes can be seen on old men, not too much women. So a face like that would, or face with eyebrows like that, would sooner have an eye that is slightly different. I'm going to draw that for you. For this kind of eyebrow, the eye would be,
Ma'am, you can have you ever watched the movie Up?
yes,
You can see that in the old guy, he's got the very like crowded eyebrows.
he does, right? Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to spotlight. Okay. So for eyes like if eyebrows like that, the more deserving, even if there are eyebrows like this, they start off straight here, change the angle, and then come downward or go at least sideways. And then the rest of the eye would be somewhat like this. You would have the eye lid, and then the upper lid, and in all probability, this would be very wrinkled as well. So there are wrinkles in the lid, in the fold. The size of the eye is usually smaller than a young person's eye. And also there can be lots of shadows because of the age of the skin. Several wrinkles here, and then also several wrinkles here.
Miss,
Yes.
this is how my eyes are looking.
Hmm. So Alia, your eyebrows, something is happening to your eyebrows. Why
Yeah.
are they? Let's see again. So, couple of things. Which is the left eye and which is the right eye?
Try to run this.
Because they're looking exactly the same, right? So see, the shape of the eyebrows is like this. Mhm. It is always slightly fatter and flatter. And then this curve is not too brief. So what you've done right now looks more or less like you've got this part and then you've taken it too high and then you come to something like that. This is the kind of shape you've got. Yeah, Alia? Is that right? So in your shape, what you can change is firstly take the eyebrow a little away from the eye. This part has to be straight. So even if it is fat eyebrow, and this line instead of coming so acutely, make it shallow. Like that. Don't bring it down so close. Okay?
Quick question, Mom.
Yeah.
The eye that you have drawn, is it for the right or the left?
What do you think?
I thought it was for the left. So with regard to that, I had done the rest of that. But
So,
then now I realize it's on the right. It's on the left.
so this is the model's left eye, but to us it is the right eye. Both these are the right eye. How can you tell?
Uh, the eyebrow.
The eyebrow and also the tear duct. You don't have tear ducts on the
Yeah.
outer edge, right?
Yes.
So So that's how you know which eye it is. Okay, 1 second. Let us, oh, sorry. Gallery, huh. Oh, Veer, your eye, too much of eyebrow. Don't, were you trying to make this? Okay, so let's see it again. Right. So you are on the right track, but the shading needs to be a little modulated. Now, there are some eyebrows that are going too high over here, right? So even if I make my eyebrows, the line very shaggy, it's not going out of that area. Right now, it's looking like, what is it looking like? Your eye looks like it has been given an electric shock and the eyebrows are all standing on edge, isn't it? So that's one look. Can you try making a shape that's a little more disciplined like this? And shading also, just shade the inside of that part without doing individual eyebrows. Yeah, Alia, let me see yours now. Okay, now Alia, inside your eye, there should be no shading. Okay, the white of the eye. Because for our case right now, when you're making this kind of an eye, for this, we can do shading over there, but not right now, not for this group. So let me give you an example. When you have good contrast, you can do shading like that. So you're not wrong in shading it, but until you get the confidence and you know exactly how much to shade where, it will only look wrong. So how do we counter this? Make the eyeball. Are you looking? Alia, look here, look here. Don't look at your illustration. This part has to become really dark. If you want the white of the eye to have some grays, then this must look really dark, especially the lens. If they're all the same darkness or lightness, then nothing will stand out. It just looks like a lot of gray mess. You get what I mean? So increase the contrast, increase the dark around the eye like that. Make the lashes, make the fold even darker. And the eyebrow, again, your shape is a little funny. Can I have a look again? Yeah. So they are now becoming rounded. Huh? Okay. So what do we do with this? Instead of this, keep this slightly straighter. You've got the direction right, except that you've made it rounded. And then round it over here. And it can go even shallower. So this is going to take time. You notice that the eye part you got pretty okay, all of you, pretty okay. But the eyebrow is now stumping all of you. Okay, better, you're getting there. You're getting there, very good. Now extend the eyebrow a little bit beyond the tear duct. Just bring it out straight. No, Alia, draw the eye again. Draw the eye again. Just changing the eyebrow is not cutting it. Also, look at this. Both of you just look up, look up. Yeah, Ruth, you also look. So when we make the tear duct, we don't need to make it like that. This will look like a car. It's not this big, not your fault. So how do we do it? When we make the tear duct, it is a very small thing going outside. And it doesn't curve out as much as that, just about so much. So all this can go. Let me draw the corrected version. Draw something like this, the tear duct here, and something like that. And then you have basic shape like this. All right. When you draw excessive curves, it starts looking like a Kathakali painter or no, Kathakali dancer. You've seen those? So your eyes are appropriate for the Kathakali dance. All right, try drawing one more time. And before we end class, Ruth, you're not drawing really anything. You're just eating. Let's see. Good, very nice. And let me see your nose without the lines on the side. And the mouth also, don't make the dip so big. See, we made it really small. If you make it too much, like a very stark V, it'll look like Ravan. So unless you're going to make Ravan, don't make that lip too pronounced. All right, let's see. Now, if you're going to draw cartoons, here's an easy way of drawing the cartoon. Eye. Just draw the top of the eye. Draw the iris. Shade it like this, dark to light. A few lashes like that. And just like this. Even this is fine. You can put a fold if you want to. This is also good. And we can also put some lashes at the bottom. So you don't have to do all this detail. You can simplify it. And then even more cartoon eyes. Literally just the eyeball.
Ma'am, I actually drew like a picture of a cartoon yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I drew the eye kind of similarly.
Very good. Very nice. So what I want you to do now, I'm going to share some pictures of eyes, nose, mouth, faces. I want you to try sketching them. Look for the shape that we see, and there'll be some shading also. Try doing that. And don't be worried whether or not they come right. The more we do, the better you'll start seeing. Okay? All right. So next week, shall we continue the same? We'll make more faces. Yeah, I think we should do this. We need more practice. Maybe we could do faces with hair, maybe some cartoon faces also, so it becomes a little easier for you all. All right. If you have any suggestions, please send them on the group so I can study them. All right. Okay. So bye for today. Oh, let's see. Oh, much better. I think this is much better. I think just the fold above the eye is missing. Is that weird? You can make the fold and then we should be done. Have you made it? Okay, good, good. Very nice. You're still making the first line very dark. That first horizontal line is just a guideline. At one point, you won't even have to make that line. So keep it very light. It should not seem as if you have cut into the eye. All right. Okay, so I shall see you next week then. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye.